Welcome back everybody to another video here at Greenland Garden Centre. We're in our beautiful botanic garden today, and today we're going to be talking about summer lawn maintenance. What are the 3 steps that you can do to have a beautiful lawn all summer? We're going to go through them: watering, mowing, and applications you can do in summer. So stick with us, enjoy the video, hopefully you learn something from this. The first step that you need to do to have a beautiful lawn this summer is proper watering. I can't stress this enough. This is the most important thing to take care of, to be on top of this year. It's one of the only things you need to do, and if you do it right, you will definitely have a beautiful lawn. So what is proper watering? The basic rule of thumb for the lawns that we grow here, Kentucky bluegrass, perennial ryegrass, and creeping red fescue, is 1 inch of water per week. That's the bare minimum. Most people kind of go that 1.5 to 2 inches of water per week. So how do you know you're getting that much water? If we have steady rain for a day, if we have multiple rain showers in a week, chances are you have enough water there. The only way to be 100% sure is to get something like a rain gauge or have a container in the yard that you can measure the rainfall. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is, how do you know how much water your sprinkler puts out? Well, it's quite simple really. Take a flat-sided can, like a tuna can has been the most traditional thing that people have used for years to measure how much water their sprinkler outputs. You take a couple cans, you put them out throughout the yard, you turn your sprinkler on, measure that rainfall, or that sprinkler fall, I guess, at the end of your application, and there you go. It could be half an hour, it could be an hour. It all depends whether you have underground sprinklers, above ground sprinklers, whatever you have, right? So make sure you're getting that 1.5 to 2 inches of water per week for healthy lawn. Now, when do you water? The ideal time to water is in the early morning. If you can water, or if you have a timer, you can set it to come on at 6 to 7 or 7 to 8. Sometime early in the morning is the best time. If you water in the mid-afternoon, one thing that you're gonna find is the sprinklers are always outputting water at a high angle. You're gonna find that you're gonna lose a lot to evaporation. It also usually is windier in the afternoons as opposed to the mornings. So stick with the morning if you can. Evening is not an ideal time to water your lawn. The problem with evening watering, yes, it's nice and cool, there won't be evaporation, usually not a lot of wind in the evenings. The problem with watering your lawn in the evening is you're gonna find that those grass blades stay wet all night long. That's gonna lead things like powdery mildew. We've seen some dollar spot fungus, we've seen red thread funguses the past couple years due to all the moisture we've had in our area. So avoid having that grass stay wet all evening long. If you can water in the morning, you're gonna find that the grass blades will dry through the hot part of the day, and you're set. So 1.5 to 2 inches of water, do it in the morning. That may be half an hour for your sprinkler, that may be an hour. Step 2 in summer lawn maintenance is mowing. Now I know it's a chore, I know it's a hot day, you don't wanna be out there mowing the grass, but it is probably one of the most important things you can do for your lawn. If you can mow correctly and if you can mow often, you're gonna find a healthier lawn. So if you normally mow your grass quite short, if you normally mow your grass 2.5 inches, raise that up 1 step. Whatever you're normally mowing at now, raise it up 1 step for the heat of the summer. Why do we do this? If we have a longer blade of grass, it's gonna shade that root zone, it's gonna shade the crowns of the grass. They're gonna stay cooler, your grass is gonna be happier, it's gonna be healthier. So raise that mower up and mow frequently. If you're cutting once a week, once every 10 days, you're taking off a big chunk of grass. Maybe you're taking off half of that blade of grass. That's not a good thing. Your grass is gonna be stressed out from that. It's already stressed out from the summer heat. Maybe it's stressed out from the lack of watering. So cut often. If you can take 1/3 of that blade of grass, maybe 1 inch or less of that blade of grass every time you mow, that's a great thing for your grass. It's gonna be healthier, it's gonna be happier, and it's probably gonna try to even fill in some of those bare areas that you may have in your lawn. It's gonna try to grow sideways and thicken up. So definitely cut more often, raise that mower a little bit if you can. The other thing we're gonna talk about is when to mow. Avoid the heat of the day if you can. Again, your grass is hot, it's under stress, maybe do it in the morning, maybe the evening's a good time. You water in the morning, you leave your grass all day to dry, then you mow in the evening. Avoid the stressful times of the day when you're cutting your grass, because cutting the grass is a stressful thing for the grass. You're cutting it in half or a good chunk of it off. So avoid that. So we've gone through watering, we've gone through mowing. The next step is applications. What can you apply to your lawn in summer? What should you apply to your lawn in summer? The first one we're going to talk about is fertilizer. So in summer, it's nice and warm, you're mowing regularly, you're watering regularly, maybe we're getting a lot of rain. Your grass is trying to grow. It's trying to grow quite rapidly. If you don't feed that growth, you're gonna find that the grass is just gonna kind of sit there and pout. So what you have to do is you have to fertilize your lawn. One of the options that we like here, it's Promix, green and feed they call it. The number's on the bag, 36012. So what do these numbers mean? First one is nitrogen. Nitrogen controls green growth. So for grass, it's the most important thing. If you don't give your grass enough nitrogen, it's not going to grow. Middle number controls rooting. We talked about this in our spring video. Rooting is for spring, so leave it alone for spring. The last one, potassium. Potassium is just a general kind of health of the grass. It helps the color of the grass, it helps the drought tolerance of the grass, helps disease resistance, all these things. So potassium is a good one to get into your lawn in summer, as well as a lot of nitrogen. When to do it? If you can time it where we're having, a rain the next day or later that day, that's the best time to do it. If it's going to be hot, if it's going to be plus 30 for 3 or 4 days, do not fertilize your lawn. That's when you can get burning issues. The fertilizer is just going to sit on there. It's going to stick to those blades of grass and it's going to cause damage. So avoid the hot times, the hot days, the hot stretches of weather, and go for a time when it's going to rain. Say we have 2 weeks of just heat coming up. We don't have any rain in the forecast. That's when I suggest putting it down, early in the morning, maybe before you're going to water, and then water that lawn, or even the night before, water that lawn. The other thing we're going to talk about is weed control. So summer, if we're having really hot weather, if we're having plus 20, 28, plus 30 kind of days, avoid any serious weed control. You can spot treat the lawn. If you see a few weeds here or then, you can spot treat. But if it's really hot weather, again, just avoid doing a blanket spray on the entire lawn. Save that for the spring or fall when the weather's a bit cooler and your grass is not under stress. If we have periods of extreme heat, your grass is going to be under stress. If you apply weed killer, you can at that point do damage to your lawn. So spot treatments are okay. Again, make sure the weather is 25 or less. Spot treatments are okay, but avoid a blanket application across the entire lawn when it comes to weed killer. So that was summer lawn maintenance in 3 easy steps. I want to thank you for joining us on this video today from our beautiful botanic garden here at Greenland Garden Centre. If you have any questions, definitely comment below. Give us a like, subscribe to see more of our content, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video.